If you are someone that is tired of the same old conversation about weight loss, which essentially is a conversation about what to do and just, the whole calories and the whole no sugar and all those things, that yes, are an important part of the process. Yes, they are part of the journey, but they're not the end all be all solution. Then this episode is for you. And if you don't know me, I am Juliana, a real food nutritionist and mind body weight release expert. Okay, so this is a little bit different than the things I normally talk about because I want to take a step back and really sort of address weight loss, or if your big thing is something else. Let's just say that you suffer from infertility, or you're somebody going through, say, an autoimmune disease, sort of diagnosis, whatever that big thing is for you. I'm going to focus on weight loss because that is my sort of area of expertise and something I'm very passionate about. Excuse me. But you can pick whichever big thing that you have. And the reason why I want to take a step back today instead of telling you these next 3 tips and whatever else you can do is that I've been reflecting a lot, and I think being home with COVID and all those things, there have been quite a bit of time for reflection. And sometimes that reflection can be a little difficult. So I decided to get my reflection and put it out there to share with others because I feel there is value, and start to have those more like real conversations. And usually when I record something with no intentions of posting it, that's when I know it's going to be good. And then I just have to work up the courage to put it out there. So I'm doing this one live, so let's just see what comes out. But what I think is really important on a serious note here is that anytime that we want to say weight loss, for example, is a industry with a 5% success rate, meaning 95% of dieters fail, right? And those are terrible statistics if you think about it, that your likelihood of being successful about losing weight and keeping it off is sometimes less than 5%. So why would you even sort of like go on the journey and do all the things and all, it's an uphill battle, right? And it truly is. But I think the problem is not, I think it's twofold. The first part is the part that we can more easily address and control with all the tips, all the things we do, which is weight issues are not a localized issue. They're a metabolic one. So they're a complicated, my favorite analogy is weight issues are this big puzzle. It's a box of puzzles with over 1,000 pieces, but it has no picture, no map on the cover. So you have all these pieces of the puzzle that don't fit, and they should, but they're not fitting, and you just don't know how to put them back together, right? So that would be the more physiological side of weight loss, the side that, let's just say, we can control a little more so. On the other side, so yes, you can hire the experts, and yes, we study hormones, and I spent the last 17 years of my life studying nutrition in some capacity, the last 10 years working in the field in some capacity. So yes, like that is the part that we can, I would say, most easily access in this journey, okay? Now the second part is where I think the secret lies. And the second part is the part I think that most people fail, if you want to use that word, to tap into, but also to sort of see the real long-term results. And the simple word for it, which I think is really, it doesn't give you the full picture, so I'm going to elaborate, but the simple word for it is the mindset piece of weight loss, or the mindset piece of a fertility journey, or whatever, like I said, the big thing is for you. And what I mean by that is mindset may not be the right word in terms, because of the perception, I think, that we have now with so much mindset stuff out there. But I want you to think of mindset when it comes to your big health goal, or, your big health journey. In my case, specifically the weight loss journey that I talk about, is that there's usually a huge disconnect between what you're trying to achieve and the why that you want to achieve it. So let's take an example. If I were to ask you, why do you want to lose excess weight? A lot of times people go and they say, oh, because I want to feel more confident. Total valid point. But that's not really the why, right? That's like surface why. And if I ask people what I do, how do you want to feel when you release the weight? Most people don't have an answer for that. They say, oh, feel good, more energized. But again, that's superficial level feelings, right? When you talk about the level of transformation that is required for the weight to come off, especially if you're looking 20, 30, 40, 100 pounds and maintain that, it is such a huge transformation that I've seen people lose the weight physically and look in the mirror and not be able to see themselves differently. Everybody else could, but not the individual, because their feelings, now there's a huge gap between your new physique versus how you feel. And that disconnect, there's a huge disconnect, takes a lot of courage, because the mindset shift has a lot to do with self-work in bridging the gap, right? I do feel that gap a lot of times is there because we don't want to do the work yet at that time on our fears and our shame and all those different things. And we're basically living on somebody else's desires and wishes and values of having the body that we think other people think we should. For example, I'm in the nutrition field. I work in the weight loss industry in a different form of it, but still there's expectations of what I should or shouldn't look like. There's pressures that I put on myself because of the expectations that I put on myself of what people in this field tend to look like to be successful and all those things. And you may have your own version of those. I wouldn't even say insecurities. I would just call them misperceptions, right? So what can you do to start sort of tapping into that mindset piece, even if in a small way? So I'll give you some suggestions. And the first thing that I want to say, anytime that we want to do something as a permanent change, say change a habit, change a way to see things, look at things, there's various theories out there that it takes 21 days. Some people think it takes, over 60 days or 30 days or whatever the number is. I think the success of any change has a lot, yes, there's techniques, but the success of any change has a lot to do with how close or how far whatever change it is that we want is towards our actual core values in our lives. And core values may be a word used sometimes in the corporate world. I'm not talking about that, no, not that way, but more like, what is your true innate value system? The things that brings you so much joy that you cannot wait to get out of bed and go do. And for some people could be playing video games. For some people could be shopping. Like, it doesn't have to be this glorious thing that you perceive as noble, right? But the closer that we are to living in congruency with those high values, and if you're curious about yours, I'll put a resource down below. I will link to it. Dr. John DeMartini, I follow his work and I study his work, and he has helped me greatly on identifying my own and getting closer and closer to living in congruency to those values. But the closer you are to those values and being able to link your weight loss journey or being able to link your fertility journey or whatever journey you have to that point of congruency, that's when you start to make meaningful, sustainable change. And I feel in the weight loss industry, we're always externally focused. We're trying to basically please other people, therefore living and fulfilling their values, not ours. And that will never bring us happiness. We will never be happy by living somebody else's truth, ever. Just not possible, right? So it's number one is maybe do the values exercise to see, at least start putting it out there. Put it in paper form, even though you're going to do it through the computer or your phone, what those values are. But the second big thing, because now you know there's the huge gap in between what you want and how you want to feel, what I encourage you to do is sit with yourself, and this may be a one-time thing or several, days process, whatever works for you. But I want you to just kind of start thinking about how do you want to feel, or what do you want to feel when you get to your health goal. Not as in projecting in the future, but feeling it right now, what it will feel like in your mind, your perceptions, of when you get there. So start embodying the feeling of the change now, rather than just like waiting for it to happen or wishing for. And I like to encourage people, instead of having a goal weight, have a feeling that you want to feel. And through your meditations, through whatever, gratitude practice, whatever you do, try to feel it in your core, that feeling day in, day out. Make it that your practice, to feel it every day or as many times a day as you can, so that you start to really sort of shorten that gap in between your goals and your perceived reality, if that makes sense. And the last piece of it, so you look at your values, you start to discern what the feelings are, or the one feeling it is that you want to feel. And then the last piece of it is really going really deep into the why you want to lose the weight. Not the superficial level, the more external, the more obvious. No, like really deep into what that means to you. So I'm going to make an offer for something, nothing for sale. This is not for sale. This is a offer that I'm making for you to jump on the phone with me for 15 minutes, 20 max, but 15 usually takes, for this My Why Power Chat. And all I'm gonna do is ask you some questions and help you get deeper in there, so that you can have more clarity what your why is, and then you go out there and you just rock it. So I'm going to put the link in the comments if you want to book your power chat session to really get clear into your why you want to lose the weight. And that is it for today. So I hope that you take on my offer. Again, nothing for sale. This is just a real offer to help you in the journey. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.